Hey guys, welcome back to Persia Red Space. I know it's been a while. It has been a while. I'm sorry. I had to get some things done. Spirit wanted me to, and I was like, oh, okay, like that. And then it was like, yeah, chop chop. So I said, okay. They was like, you can grow it back later. I said, okay. So I'm back. And I wanted to talk to you about meditation because everybody's always asking me about meditation. Why is it important? What is it good? Excuse me. What is it good for? Why is it so important? Okay. So I usually can say off of my own experiences. So that's what I'll be using, is talking about my experiences so I can help you guys out. And so what I know meditation to be, and what has been agreed upon when I say it, is that meditation is not about clearing out all of your thoughts. It is not about just sitting in a state of complete thoughtlessness and complete nirvana. Meditation is something where you want to find out what your higher self, your ancestors, your guardians, your spirit guides, your court is trying to tell you. It could be a lesson. It could be a warning. It could be just some information that's just for you to know, something they want you to share. It could be anything. Even if you don't even know who your ancestors are, meditation can help you figure out who they are. So, again, for me, meditation does not have to be sitting cross-legged. Does not have to be that. You do not have to be with your hands. You don't have to. It's really all your preference. It's really all of your preference. I prefer to meditate majority of the time in the shower. The shower, because I'm a water sign and I love water. It makes me feel comfortable. It makes me feel good. That's what I connect with. I also meditate in my backyard, sitting on a tree stump. That has me connected with nature real time. I have meditated walking by myself somewhere. I have meditated in the car when when I used to go to work. I would meditate before work. Like, I would get there early and meditate for like 30 minutes to an hour in my car because it was quiet. It's like early in the morning. And it wasn't about me pushing out all of my thoughts. Whatever thoughts kept on popping up, I would try to figure out what it was trying to tell me. So while I'm in a meditative state, which is almost like a trance-like state, because you're just quiet, you breathe in deep, and you release. Deep breaths. I do mine 5 to 15 times, depending on how stressful it's been or how I'm feeling. You can also do Om while you're releasing, like Om. So when you release, you say Om. Options. I'm trying to give you guys options here. So you do the breathing, and then the thoughts that come into your head, figure out what they're trying to say. Like, okay, I'll use me as an example. So I had thoughts of, like, trying not to get too personal. But I had thoughts of, like, family trauma, childhood trauma. And I was trying to figure out why I was still angry, though I had felt like I had healed from it. And I realized I was so angry because there was a specific part that I didn't heal from. And that specific part was what kept on coming up. And it dealt with how I felt and thought about myself and how I looked, because I grew up as an obese child. I had hair like this when I was really young, and I was teased about it. And I was called a boy. And it was a lot for me, being big and being teased and, all this stuff. So even though like I definitely have a positive look on how I look, it was when I first cut my hair, because I didn't care if it was even or not. You know, I was in the house. I felt some type of way when I walked out of the house, because I'm like, you know, social media says you're supposed to look a certain type of way. And I've never looked the way social media says I have to look. So I started feeling a little self-conscious because like the way I cut it, I didn't go to a barber. I mean, we're dealing with COVID right now still. So there are shorter spots in some areas than others, which I don't care because I'm trying to grow it out, right? And I'm able to try new recipes, like growth recipes on my hair. Whatever. But I still had that tinge of just knowing that I was self-conscious. So when I went into meditation, I had to talk to myself and say, you know, why does this really bother you? And it went back to when I was younger, to when I got bullied, when I got teased, when I got told I was ugly. And I had to heal myself from that part. Because even though now I am in love with who I am, I still had that tinge, and that tinge can grow. Just like when you get like a crack on your glass and it could grow to like the whole window pane and like the whole thing gets messed up. I didn't want that to happen. So that's like some of the ways that, you know, your meditations can work. Sometimes you'll hear voices that may sound like yours, but it's actually your higher guides, your higher spirits, your ancestors talking to you, telling you things that you're like, how do I know this stuff? One thing that is important before you go into meditation is to always put your protection. Like call upon your ancestors of benevolence and sovereignty, your ancestors that love you, mean your highest good, that want you to move forward, be positive, and live your highest good. Because just like you have family members that don't like you, you can have ancestors that don't like you and do not want you to do well. So you want to call forth protection from the ancestors that want you to do well, that love you, that protect you, that keep you safe, that don't do bullshit with you. You know what I'm saying? So you want to do that because you never want to get messages from someone or something that is not for you. And it does happen, especially if you feel like you're very scatterbrained. Sometimes we attract energies that are not for us, and we don't know this. And sometimes it sounds like us and it feels like us because you're in that frequency, and that's the frequency that they're on. So it compounds. So once you call in your protection, you do your breaths, and then you go into your meditation, a lot of the information that you're going to get is for you, for your betterment. One thing that I also tell people to do is to have a journal. Sorry, that was the back of the book, but still pretty. Excuse me. I have a, you can see the words through it. Yeah, you can. You can see I've been writing in it. I have a meditation journal. I can tell you where I got mine from. I actually made this because, as y'all know, I love crystals, all things crystals. It's my thing. But I have a meditation journal. So I write down what happens in my meditation. I write down any messages, any thoughts that came up, what was the solution, what was the resolution, what I was told or what I feel I need to do, so that like when I go back through the pages and whatnot, that like I can be like, okay, I did grow from here. I did get past this. I did do this. This is what they said was going to happen. This is what's happening now. Okay, I get it. It's a reference point. It's a beautiful reference point. This book has clear quartz in it, and it has citrine and copper with some other nice little colors. And I just, you know, practiced with little alcohol inks, but yes, it's crystal infused and I love it. I also have some other ones for like my manifestations and stuff like that are also crystal encrusted. Awesome. It doesn't have to be a crystal encrusted journal like this. If you do want, I'll show you on the links at the bottom where you can look for them, or you can email me. But you can get any journal, any type of journal you want, and write it down because it's really important. That's why journals are going to be a big part of your journey and when you become spiritual, because you want to write down, because you never know if like something that you dreamed of or did now, you might need to know about it a year later. So it's good to have things written down. Dream journals, manifestation journals, meditation journals, grimoires, book shadows, whatever you want to write your meditations, rituals, spells, and whatever. It's good to have a journal of all of them. What else can I tell you? So it doesn't matter where you are, as long as you're comfortable and as long as it's quiet. Give yourself at least 5 minutes, and it can go up to any amount of time you have that is available for you in your current situation. I'm wearing red because I'm dealing with the root chakra, and I was grounding earlier, and it's really important for me to ground because as an empath and as a Cancer, I have this thing where I can feel people's emotions and things like that, and it's really pulling. So I have to ground as much as possible so that I do not become overwhelmed with everybody's stuff, especially with my clients when they come to me. They don't want that type of energy, and I don't want to keep the energy that they're giving to me because it's not mine. Sometimes when I am grounding, I ground inside if I can't get outside because it's been really stormy out here. And I can't go outside because it's too much lightning, like it's been electrical storms. So you can use different types of things to help you. I think I've showed you this before in another video, but you can use crystals. Crystals are good for grounding. This is my selenite piece. I usually use this when I'm doing readings. I used this one earlier for charging it and like doing root chakra work and sacral chakra work. But I like to make sure some of the stuff that I make works. So I made this. It is currently for sale, but I made it because it deals with the root chakra. So you have red jasper for root chakra, you have orange calcite for the sacral chakra. And usually when I'm meditating, either I will have this with other pyramids or other pieces around me, or I'll hold it. I don't know if you guys can see, but it'll be like this. I'll hold it and I'll meditate with it. Why? Because there are crystals in it. There's also copper, there's clear quartz, there's iron oxide, there's shungite. All grounding agents are in here from the earth. So if I can't go outside, I get my crystals, or I get an orgonite. This is what it's called. It's called an Orgone energy battery or Orgone pyramid, orgonite. Again, I'll have the links below if you're interested in stuff like this. But this is what I tend to use because it works for me, which is why I always have them around. This is also an orgonite. It's a pendulum. Everybody knows me as the orgonite girl. So these are good to use. If you have crystals, like I always have crystals everywhere. These are amethyst, if you can see that. Amethyst is great for, enhanced psychic abilities, protection, protecting your psyche from anything that is negative. So it's good to have crystals around. They're the earth element. It's a helpful element. So using crystals, you always want to make sure that you're hydrated and that you have water. Like so. You can use any element to meditate with. Earth for grounding. You can use water, like I do. You can use wind if you like to go outside on a windy day, have the fan going, and then you can add some crystals. Fire, you can have your candles lit around you while you meditate. So depending on your zodiac sign, it can depend on what you lean towards. My moon is in Leo, so I do like fire. So I'm kind of like steam, water and fire, steam. So I do also prefer to use fire. I like to have a lot of candles lit in my room. Like every time I go to the store, they're just like, hey, it's the candle lady. Yeah. So you have a lot of options. It's really about making sure that you're in a quiet space. How often should you meditate? Is there really a specific amount of time or a specific amount you shouldn't go over? No. Honestly, you can meditate as many times of the day as you want to, that you're allowed to, that you have time for. I might meditate 3-4 times a day. I might not meditate at all in a day and then meditate every other day. Sometimes I forget and do it once a week. I've even forgotten done it once a month. That was bad. But we all, have our things. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Just try to put yourself on a schedule. Get a timer if you need to. Or like I have a routine. Get up in the morning, talk to the ancestors, meditate. When I have free time or when I'm going to go take a shower, meditate again. Talk to the ancestors and the energies again before bed, meditate. And because I program my whole day the day before, and then I, boost myself up as the day goes through. That's another thing that meditation is great for. Meditation, when you're figuring out all this other stuff, you can remind yourself of how great and amazing you are. And a lot of people don't remember to tell that to yourself. Like, yeah, you do affirmations like, oh, I'm going to have an awesome, amazing day. Okay, great. Say it in your meditative trance state because it goes into your subconscious and your unconscious as well as your consciousness. So it can continue to reverberate in your head that you're great, you're amazing, and all this other stuff, right? So, yeah. Now, for a controversial method of meditation. I say this is controversial only because there are still some people out there that have a thing against smoking. I am not one of those people. Not at all. I'm trying to figure out which side I want to hit it from. The thing about me though is I make an herbal blend. Meaning it's not just straight up. So depending on what I want to do, I'll mix like roses, lavender, catnip, mugwort, spearmint, peppermint. There are different herbs that can go in that do different things. This one is roses, lavender, catnip, and mugwort. Mugwort is good for astral projection and like being into the spiritual realm and visualization. Lavender is for relaxation. Catnip is for euphoria, and roses is protection and just like also relaxation. So even though I got the catnip giving me euphoria, it's not like off the walls. So this is gonna completely relax me, and I have an indica, so I'm not gonna like fall asleep. I'm gonna be awake, but I'm gonna be relaxed, and my mind is gonna be open to my spirits and my ancestors and everybody talking to me. Now, if you know how you are off of certain things, don't do it if you feel like that's not going to help you. It is not for everybody. It is only for some people. If it is for you, great. Utilize any and everything you can to help you in your meditation. Okay, what other uses of meditation good for? Remember that situation I told you about earlier that I was like, oh, my childhood? That is also a piece of shadow work. Like a lot of people are like, what's shadow work? How do I do shadow work? Shadow work is going and fixing your traumas and being honest with yourself and taking accountability. Sometimes accountability doesn't mean like you beat yourself up because you did something. It's just knowing that there's something that you did that put you in that situation. What could you have done to get out of that situation? And sometimes there isn't anything you could have done. And sometimes there is no accountability that you need to have, but you have to be honest. That's the thing about shadow work. You have to be honest. If you're not honest with yourself, shadow work is not going to work because you're still lying. It doesn't matter if you're not lying to someone else. You're lying to yourself. And yourself is who you're trying to figure out, who you're trying to master, who you're trying to become one with. Like everybody has a thing where there are certain parts of yourself that you are not proud of. Those parts of yourself that social media, other people tell you aren't good about yourself, those are the parts of yourself that can help you navigate this world that you're in, that knows you deeper than anything. Anybody that's only on love and light, they're unbalanced. Like the yin and yang symbol, it is black and white. There's a little bit of white in the darkness, and there's a little bit of darkness in the light. So if they're just one-sided, they have not gone through the proper channels of being balanced, and they do not know themselves. I don't care who catches offense to this. You don't know yourself if you're just loving light and you have not balanced. But shadow work helps you stay out of ego. It helps you heal from things that otherwise hinders your growth. When your heart chakra is blocked from heartbreak, traumatic events, childhood events, it messes with your money. It messes with your future relationships, with friends, family, intimate partners, business partners. So if your heart chakra is closed off and messed up, your money's never going to come the way you want it to. Shadow work can heal that. Shadow work can heal your mental. Shadow work can heal all of your chakras. Now, people think that shadow work is just a one-time thing. It's not. It's an ongoing thing, because there's always going to be something that happens in your life that you're going to have to heal from in some type of way. So, like, okay, for instance, if I walk out right now and then, like, somebody runs through a light and hits my car, I'm going to have to do shadow work, because I'm going to feel some type of way that they weren't paying attention and I ended up getting hurt, if I get hurt. And then I'm going to be traumatized, because whenever I go to a light, even if the light is green, I'm not going to want to go through it, because I'm afraid someone else from the other angle is going to go through and hit me. I have to heal myself from that thought process, if that makes sense. I have to heal myself from that thought process. So shadow work is definitely something that has to be done. And I'll make another video dealing with shadow work, and it'll be more in depth. But meditation goes into helping with shadow work. You can ask yourself questions while in meditation and get the answers. And a lot of people are always asking me, oh, I'll come to you for a reading when da-da-da. And I'll tell them, meditate first. If you don't get an answer, or you don't understand the answer, then you can come to me. Not to say that I don't want their business, or I don't want them to come with me, or I don't want them to help them. It just means that a lot of the answers that we look for, we can find within ourselves. But sometimes I understand that we are so overwhelmed, frazzled, there is so much going on, or we just feel so disconnected. We do need outside help. And there is nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing. I even go to people, I have friends that do readings that will read for me. And I have mentors and I have elders that definitely help me out when I need it. So don't feel bad if you have to get a reading. I never feel bad, because sometimes life happens, and sometimes I just don't know, because I'd be too far in my head. It happens to the best of us. So don't feel bad. Meditation is very important, but it doesn't have to be rigid, and it doesn't have to be something that you have to feel like you gotta do all this extra stuff just to work out. Nope, nope, and nope. You are perfectly fine using any elements you want. You can use crystals. You can use organites. You could use elements. The only thing I say for real is to make sure that you have a journal so you can write down what's going on in your meditation. You might end up with an actual big ass library of journals. But for your kids that are on the same journey as you, they can have something to read, if you allow them to, so that they can understand how to go about their journey and how you did yours and how it helped you out. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. And yes, like, that is a very important and integral part of everything. Like, once you start meditating, you'll notice the differences. And if it feels hard at first, it's okay. Give yourself time. You're not going to be able to sit and meditate for 30 minutes sometimes just off the break, because sometimes you might get tired. Sorry about that. You might get tired. You might be sleepy, because sometimes it can make you sleepy because you're in a trance state and it's like almost a sleep state, but it's not. So, give yourself some credit, give yourself some time, be patient, and don't overthink it. It's okay. Like, as much as it is important, it's not one of those things where it's super complicated. Just make it your own. mold it to whatever situation and circumstances that you have, and enjoy it. And some of you guys can just, you know, comment below, you know, and let me know your experiences with meditations, because everybody has a different experience, and it is completely awesome to hear about people being able to talk to ancestors and talk to their spirit guides and get answers to things that they never thought they would get answers to using meditation. So I want you guys to enjoy the rest of your day or night whenever you are viewing this. And I hope to see you guys soon. Sorry to be gone for so long, but Spirit had to shake things up, and I'm always thankful for Spirit, and I'm always thankful for you guys. You know, like, share, subscribe so you can know when I come back on next. You never know who will need to know about meditating and why it's so important and the different things that you can do. See you guys next time.